And we are back at it with part 2 of SojuTalk episode 89, where we get our weekly dose of hot takes, discuss recent K-pop news and events, and give you the state of the nation. Let's get it. So hot takes with Harold. I'm going to go get cousin Harold so he can give his weekly hot take.
Imagine living with Harold in your house, Anita.
Must be wild.
Wild, dude. It must be a personal hell every day. Imagine, oh Jesus.
Living with him is a living hell. Send help. But the weekly hot take is JYP's management of girl groups leads to group success at the cost of personal expression. Boom.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a tough take. I guess it makes sense because Twice came back, right? You know,
Yeah.
like Twice is easily one of JYP's most successful girl groups.
All right, so the weekly hot take is JYP's management of girl groups leads to group success at the cost of personal expression.
Personal expression? What does
I think-
personal expression mean?
I think it's like getting to do solo things or blowing up solo
Projects.
like, projects.
Okay.
That
So
kind
solo
of thing.
projects, really? Okay.
Yeah, I kind of agree with this. Now, I think there's an impetus as to why this is the case now, though.
Okay. Go
Yeah.
on.
I think back in the day, many of you know that one of the biggest talents to come out of JYP was Suzy, right? From Miss
Oh
A.
yeah.
And the issue that Miss A had at the end of their run was that Suzy was just so busy and so much more popular than everyone else in the group that everyone kind of knew it was over at a certain point.
Yeah.
And it just seems to me that since then JYP is so, I wouldn't say afraid, but so cautious as to not make a certain member of the group so much more popular than everyone else, that they've kind of just been like, let's just focus on the group stuff, you know, because that's what we're good at.
Just to understand the context, did GOT7 happen before Twice or after? Oh, sorry, GOT7 happened before Miss A or after Miss A?
After. But we're talking about girl groups here, sir.
No, I'm just trying to get the bigger picture about Mr. JYP, you know, like Mr. Park. How does he think? You know, what did he think about the Suzy situation? And you know.
Oh, you mean you mean her like blowing up versus GOT7 debuting?
Yeah, I guess so, right? Because GOT7 didn't really do that. They did focus on solo projects here and there, and like,
That's true.
while we look at Stray Kids, that doesn't happen to Stray Kids.
That's
know?
true.
Well, Stray Kids does have some solo things going on, but
Right,
they're
I mean,
just not
yeah.
like supremely popular yet.
I guess that's also true. I mean, look, here's what I think. You can't have everything. That's just simply how life works. We can't have everything that we want. That's you know, that being said, I think in order to gain something, it usually comes at the cost of something. And in order for group success, they did sacrifice the personal solo project kind of thing, if that makes any sense. You know, like because they gave up, you know, spending their time on doing solo projects for a group of 9 people. You know, they were able to focus that on promoting the brand of Twice, you know, instead of brand of Zooey, for example, or Sana, where they easily could have gone that route. You know, and it makes sense for Twice because Twice is one of those groups where like not every member is like perfect. Their visuals are perfect, yeah, but like they complement each other when they're doing songs, you know,
Yeah.
like. And they kind of create great synergy together, and then just push out this Twice energy, you know. Like, oh no, what do you guys think?
I feel like I want to agree with this take because it makes sense based on the evidence, right? But I also feel like I don't know if it's just on JYP's behalf saying like, okay, I saw what happened, we're not gonna do that again, or if it's more of the cases that we saw where it kind of went wrong, right? And I kind of also see that JYP doesn't really detain people really when they try to do solos and they want to expand, but they don't really stay in JYP. And I'm referring to like Jamie, formerly for 15 and also like Wonder Girls, they started what?
Oh, sorry, I was also referring to G-Soul or Golden now.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know. I just feel like solo artists are not like really the thing in JYP for some reason.
Not at
So I
all.
feel like, yeah, so I feel like it's not really the maybe it's not that it's like not really wanting to have soloists. It's just that it's not really working out for some reason. I don't know. I wonder if it's like circumstantial or like purposely like limiting that for group members.
Let's put it this way, right? I'm sure if JYP was willing to let some of the Twice girls become like fixed, if they wanted to make them be fixed members on variety shows for say, right? They can make it happen, no problem,
No
right?
Probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That to me speaks to the fact that they are willing to just focus on the group. Now, as we all know, in the past couple of years, Twice has had one of the most rigorous schedules in the history of K-pop, right?
Yeah.
I think the 2018 run had like 6 or 7 songs with music videos in both Korea and Japan combined, right? You don't got time to be doing anything else, right? That's like that's all they're doing. Personal expression, right? Obviously that's quite vague. I personally see that as a combination of doing solo music, or if you wanted to be a variety person, you know what I mean, just expanding your individual plate, right? Not with anyone else. What?
Like acting.
Yeah, any of that kind of things,
Yeah.
right? Like when we compare like Twice to like Red Velvet has had a lot of solo things and projects going on, right?
Yeah.
Joy does a lot of
yeah.
collabs, right? We see them on
Acting.
variety shows acting. We see Wendy singing with John Legend. All these type of things that go on, right? Yeri's getting a variety show, right? That's an active decision by SM to be like, yeah, you establish your personal brand too, right? And when we come together as Red Velvet, we got all these things contributing, right?
Right. I mean, it's easier to do with Red Velvet, and same goes for Blackpink, right? Because they have less members, and
Right.
it's easier for them to be a bigger portion of the pie, and then come together and then create this entire synergy. Twice as 9 people, pushing the group in 9 directions instead of 3 or 4 is a lot more difficult. I personally think.
I feel like it's also like from a management perspective, I guess it will be hard if it ever happens, right? If Twice ever decides to do solo stuff, it's not gonna be equal. Like there's probably gonna be someone that gets a little bit more exposure somewhere or another outside of the group. And I don't know, I guess we've mentioned this before where we don't necessarily see it as a good thing when there's somebody that's more popular than others, like, or this, like, there's a disparity in popularity, really. I don't know if that's what JYP is trying to prevent, to be honest.
That's what I think. That's what I'm thinking as well. Because especially with the whole Miss A Suzy thing at the end, I kind of want to pivot a little bit though, and then bring in another point of view, which is the idol positioning in general population and generally in Korean culture right now, right? Because K-pop and idol culture has become kind of like it's become their own little thing within Korean music. It's if I'm thinking like late 2000s, they were probably the centerpiece of the entire industry. Nowadays, they have their own little spot, but I would never say that they have the center spotlight at all times. Because there is a very set audience that consumes their music regularly, and people outside that audience doesn't really, pay attention to their stuff. In that aspect, compared to the early, late 2000s, it's become a lot more difficult to establish a brand. It's way more difficult. Personally, I think it's a lot more difficult to establish a brand. Because you have groups that come out. There's so many groups coming out, and for regular people who watch TV and then watch the music shows, it's difficult to keep up. It becomes like an internal game. And in that aspect, picking a brand message or a voice or whatever persona, and then pushing that forward as farther as you can is leaving a great impression on the general population. And I'm sure, as we've discussed before, I think a good relationship with the general population is very crucial, is very essential in the success of the success of a girl group.
Mm.
And I think that's what Twice does really well. Because if I say Twice, everyone knows who Twice is. Whether that be my mom, my 80-year-old grandpa, shout out to my grandpa, whether that be random kids on the street, everyone knows who Twice is. And if you look at the girl groups that we gave, a bit of a lower tier, for example, Rocket Punch, and I'm saying Rocket Punch because I like them. Nobody knows Rocket Punch is. They don't have that like general appeal. I'm kind of rambling on. Somebody stop me, please. I'm gonna keep rambling.
Oh, okay. I'll speak to that a little. It's an act. I honestly think this is an active decision, right? Like,
Yeah.
because they've had so much success. Like, obviously, at the beginning stages of a group, you're like, we got to do this group thing, right? That's what we got. Let's do it, right?
Right.
And after a certain point, they definitely could have made the decision, let's start doing some other things here, right? Diversifying what we can do, establishing our names as individuals. They could have 100% did that, but they've clearly made the choice, like, we gonna ride or die as the group, right? Like, that is 100% an active decision. Whenever you see them on variety shows, it's always multiples. You rarely see, like, one Twice kid, right?
Yeah.
It's
Remember-
100% groups.
I remember like early on they were on like My Little Television. That was the 4 of the non-Korean kids.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
on 뭉쳐야 산다. 뭉쳐야 뜬다. I don't know. It was some traveling show. The entirety of Twice was there when regularly there was like 4 guests or 5, and then for that episode there was all 9 of them. And like at that point, I think they're pushing for an active decision. Yeah.
Now, the other discussion is that the right thing to do or wrong thing to do? Who knows? Honestly, they're making so much money as the way they're doing it, which is fine. Red Velvet's also doing it a different way. They're making so much money too. So it's not that one method is better than the other, right? At all. But it just seems that JYP as a company, I think Anita's point at the beginning was good. That once someone does have solo success, generally they leave the company, right? it just seems like that.
That's not what she said, but
I feel like, well, I mentioned it because I think of the Wonder Girls, and then like a lot of the members started doing solo stuff. Sunmi had a big breakout as a soloist, so I feel like JYP that does allow it, but it comes with the idea of like it's not gonna, like, it doesn't feel like it stays within the company, right? Like there's really not a lot of, I can't really name a soloist under JYP.
Even someone like Jo Kwon, who you thought was JYP till he dies, right? Like,
Yeah.
he was one of the longest trainees there ever. He was like essentially JYP's son, as like people were calling him at some point. And then he's like, yeah, I'm kind of doing musical theater, acting, variety. I'm just gonna hop out here real quick, right? Like, I was really shocked when that, and I think he joined another big company. I think it was FNC or something like that.
what?
Yeah. Oh no, it's Cube. He joined Cube. I want to say.
He's in Cube right now?
Yes, you can look that up.
Oh
'cause
my
I'm pretty
god,
sure he
that's a
joined
little
another company.
surprising.
But it's like I can't fault them though. At the end of the day, right? Because they clearly know what they're doing with Twice. They're massive. But
I mean, yeah, I can't. I don't think any of us can argue that this is the best strategy there is, but it's definitely something that works really well.
I also wonder what the girls themselves feel, because
I feel
Yeah.
like that's when the personal expression part, right? Because I feel like saying that is like they desire this, they want to have this solo activity.
Right.
I hope it's not to the point where they feel like
they can't.
they can't. Yeah, I hope it's there's an opportunity and they could take it, but they're saying like, for now, let's do this. But I don't
here's
know.
the thing though, right? Like let's think about this. Cause let's say, there was a girl, we were in a co-ed group, me, you, you two, and then like Harold, and then Hubert, and then Henrietta. The 6 of us, we decided to debut. And then for some reason, let's say Doug gets really popular. He becomes the face. He goes viral, man. He became the man.
Not with my
Fan cam.
ugly face. Not with my ugly face. Maybe Harold.
Fan
though.
cam explodes. My goodness, and then he starts being, invited to, varieties, and like he acts at a web drama, and then he starts doing like advertisements for fried chicken, and like
Wow.
Converse shoes. I don't know. And then here I am.
Sounds like all the stuff you want to do.
Yeah, I know. Converse and fried chicken.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that because while that's happening, I'm sitting in my little training room, in the basement, and I'm going, damn, I'm jealous, and I'm gonna be jealous because I'm sorry, I'm a stupid idiot that has these.
I think that's a fair thing to feel, because like we're in this group, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I get that my friend is doing well, which is great, because if he does well, the group does well. But at a certain point, you're like, I kind of wish I could go on a variety show and get a free vacation to Vietnam or something, right?
Yeah.
Like something like that.
I feel like the conversation though leads to another situation where, like, let's say like, if we're going with this scenario, the six of us remain as a group promotion only type of situation, right? But there are offers to Doug. There are people talking, and they see like he's really popular, and because there's this commitment to the group, it's kind of stifling. Yeah, kind of having a pressure of him trying to say no to these opportunities, and I feel like, I get the intention, but it's hard.
It's hard.
Within the fandom, a lot of people think that Chaeyoung wants to do some solo stuff. That's what I've heard.
That's been a running thing since
forever.
Forever.
Everyone, like, even forever. Even since like the beginning. Even when they were back on 16 or whatever. It was like, she could probably do some solo stuff. You see this girl, and she's probably the most creative person in the group. She like draws a lot, she writes poetry, those type of things. Everyone's like, she's just waiting to do solo stuff, and obviously, like, because of the way the group is, it doesn't happen. But I've seen this argument. That was one of the reasons why Harold had this take. Was that like he's aware of these things.
I mean, I do recall on one of the end of the year shows, Chaeyoung was doing a rap thing with a bunch of the other JYP people. And she had a whole Jackie Y thing going on with the autotune. I kind of want to see more. I'm not gonna lie. I think also as fans, it's like, what if? It's a big what if for everyone.
Yeah.
I know, what if?
Because like go.
No, keep going. You finish up your point first. I'll do it.
No. My thing was that it would be an opportunity, because I know a lot of people rag on I wouldn't say a lot of people. Some people rag on Twice and their vocal line specifically, saying that they're pretty weak. I don't know if I agree with that. But like, wouldn't it be nice if they could have the opportunity to prove that they ain't weak? Like, you know what I mean?
It will prove that they ain't weak.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, okay. Prove that they aren't.
I was kind of thinking about this for a second, and then I also thought of another example of what Twice might be doing is, guys, remember Finkel?
Yes.
They were a group for about 3-4 years, was it? And then they all went their own ways without actually disbanding. They went all their own ways. Lee Hori had a whole solo thing, and they all did their solos at the same time. They were.
Oh,
they were no. They didn't all just no. I'm saying that they were together as a group, and then at a certain point they didn't disband, but they kind of simultaneously started doing their own thing. Okjuyeon started doing musicals. Lee Hori started doing 10-minute, and they all went their separate ways, and that seemed really cool, because it seemed like they came from one tree and then they branched out like a big tree. And that was really cool, and I hope that's what Twice does, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I've been very curious about, because I watch a lot of Korean variety these days because we stuck at home. There's certain like people who show up who are former idols, right? And obviously idols are from groups, so you got to think, out of all these groups, these are the people who stayed in the industry, essentially, right?
Right.
I'm always curious when we see the current groups. It's like, in 10 years, who's still gonna be around and notable? That's something I always think about with the current groups.
Twice is always, I think, gonna be relatable in 10 years.
I mean, relatable, but like, who's gonna be on variety shows? You know what I mean? It's like, it's
group.
This person who's now an actress, but they were originally from this group. You know what I mean? That's the type of thing I always think about.
That's another issue in itself, because
limited spots.
not only that, it's the if you look at the average age of people on Variety now versus
They're old.
10 years ago, they're 10 years older. It's the same
it's
people,
the
just
same people.
and like there hasn't been a lot of spots where idols broke in,
Hmm.
and as a Korean Variety fan, it's a little concerning. As a K-pop fan, it's a little concerning. As a Jury fan, it's a little concerning because I was hoping to go the
Jury.
Variety route. You know, like she's funny on Variety. She was on Taehan 외국인 like twice, and like
Yeah.
twice. Anyways,
But yeah, getting back to the take, it's like clearly their group thing has been one of the most successful like things ever in K-pop, right?
ever.
I kind of liken them. So there's a basketball team, the Detroit Pistons, who won a title. Like they won a one-off title, and it wasn't because they had any one superstar. It was because the team was so well built, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of rare in basketball. Normally you want to center around 2 or 3 superstars, right? Twice is sort of like that for me, where it's like, I obviously have my favorites, but I don't think anyone is abundantly more popular than anyone else in that group. Like, I get that there are popular kids, but it's not like this person is so much more notable in what they do outside of this group than anyone else, right? Now, I think obviously there's different levels of popularity, but it's not like one person is off doing all this acting stuff and is so much more popular, right? That's why I kind of see Twice as that. Now, it clearly worked for them. I think the other style where you do get some individual success to translate into group success works, right? But do I agree with this take that their management of girl group leads to group success at the cost of personal expression? I kind of agree with that because how much personal expression have we seen out of Twice? At the end of the day.
I mean, I saw Gio doing solo singing every now and then, but that's pretty much it.
I feel like for the fans, maybe there is some stuff that they have seen, but for the general public, I don't.
Not much, right?
Not much.
I will say, since they're in like what 5 years now at this point, right? 5 years because 2015.
Something like that, yeah, 5 or 6.
I feel like if they're ever gonna do solo stuff, now might be not a bad time, you know.
Yeah, I think we'll pivot into the news because another group has some solo news that came out.
Ooh.
We'll find out in the quick takes.
Oh.
So now we are at news and events from last week. This first one is straight up called June Comeback Madness.
Oh my god.
So
boy.
June is shaping up to be one of the most crazy and comeback-filled months we have ever covered since starting this podcast. All of the following groups have been confirmed for comebacks within the month. Some of them with dates, some of them without. So girl groups. Obviously, we had Twice, Blackpink, Uju IZ*ONE, Momoland, Daya, Wakey Makey, Nature, and Weekly are making their debut. Additionally,
Weekly.
the Irene Sugi Red Velvet unit was supposed to happen on June 15th, but they moved it to July. Thank God
move.
they moved
Smart
it.
move. Yeah.
Boy groups, we have 17 Stray Kids, Super Junior, KRY, Victon, N-Flying, AB6 CIX, Golden Child, The Ones, also known as, I think, Dice potentially, and Elast is making their debut. In terms of solo artists, we have Sunmi, Hwasa, B2B's Eunkwon, who just came out of the military, Brown Eyed Girls Jaya, 2PM's Jun K, Baekhyung, Ha Sung-un, X1's Jo Sun-young, Treasure's Bang Ye-dam is having a solo song, and Priston's Kayla is having a song.
Kyla.
Kyla. Oh, Kayla.
Kyla.
I messed that up. but-
Well, I'm glad to see her name is back.
Yeah.
I thought she was done with K-pop in general.
Why is everyone coming back now? Like, do they know that July and August exist?
No, the world ends in June. This is-
It's nuts, right?
Dude, man, yeah. How are we gonna cover all this?
The thing is, I was looking at the list. I'm like, a lot of you are like at the level where we normally cover them. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I'm concerned.
Maybe
I'm
you should
very
stop
concerned.
doing it. Maybe you should stop doing Herald for a couple of weeks. Maybe.
If we get overloaded with songs, we'll potentially Harold will remain angry within the house and not on the
We'll
podcast.
simmer a bit.
Whatever. Just let him. Let the man
This
chill
is
for a
nuts,
couple weeks.
right?
This is crazy. I mean, how am I gonna keep up with all this?
Yeah, we have a couple people on our Discord server who like to buy albums. They're like, "Oh, I'm going broke this month."
Oh my
Dude,
Straight up.
Okay, let's say you buy albums for all of these people, right? That's like $12 per album. If
That's
you're
like
getting
30
the
albums. Like,
$360.
And it's not even $12 because we're in America, so it's like $30
Shipping,
each because of shipping, like $20 each.
Man.
Like, just the fact that the ones we're getting is twice Blackpink, Would You Sew On Your Eyes one, like just that for girl groups in a month is nuts, right? Because that would average one a week. Guy groups, 17 Stray Kids, AB6, CIX, like that's ridiculous right there.
What I will say is I hope that not all of these are summer songs.
I 100% agree with that sentiment,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
I was about to say that as well.
Yeah, I hope they're not all like, tropical house. Yeah, summertime.
Beach.
Yeah, beach. More beach. Dance the night away. La la la. Sorry.
Okay. But there's not too much to talk about. Just know that we may be extremely overloaded over the next like 4 episodes because
It's gonna be fun.
this is crazy.
If we don't end up covering your favorite group or solo artist, I'm sorry beforehand.
But you can join our Discord server and talk to other people about that release.
Yes.
You can do that, yeah.
All right. Next, in terms of crazy lineups, another one. KCON dropped massive lineup announcements ahead of K-Contact 2020. So over the past week, KCON has revealed 3 lineup announcements for K-Contact 2020 Summer, which will be held from June 20th to 26th, 24/7 on YouTube.
Oh my god.
The first lineup announcement was The Boys, Luna, Nature, G-Friend, IZ*ONE, Pentagon, Golden Child, TOO, AB6, and Monsta X. The second one was Kim Jae-hwan, One Us, JOI, JO1,
JO1?
JO1, Gravity, Kang Daniel, Everglow, Victon, Natty, Mamamoo, Very Very Stray Kids, and the third one was Bandit, TXT, Oh My Girl, SF9, G-Idol, On and Off, Victon, Astro, Chungha, ATEEZ, N-Flying, and ITZY.
Wow, look at you. You didn't flub up any of that. You said it. All of it.
Additionally, K-Contact member benefits, which means you get like priority access to everything, I think the live stream too, is going to cost $19.99 and will include 4-hour concert plus meet and greet with 4 artists each day. So they're going to have like smaller live streams, I think. Real Idol 24/7, which is a pre-event series where I think they're just going to follow certain groups 24/7 or 24 hours, not 24/7. And lastly, hashtag K-Contact behind the scene exclusive footage.
Oh, wow.
Lastly, KCON also announced that KCON 2020 LA was postponed, which makes sense given the
makes sense.
situation. These lineups, though,
These lineups.
I'm so surprised JO1 is on this list.
right?
Wow.
I guess Mnet. That's what it is.
Yeah.
There's a group who's missing from these lineups.
I was trying not to talk about it, buddy. Don't.
Their label mate is on here, Golden Child. Right?
I see Golden Child on there. Yeah. I mean, well, our Golden Child Sunbez. I'm glad they could make it. Why they didn't invite a certain girl group of the same company, it remains a mystery to me.
Are you salty?
Yes, I will not be purchasing anything. I'll give you that.
Rip.
There's no reason for me to. Luna and IZ*ONE sound interesting to me. JO1, Everglow. Mamamoo,
I'm very curious as to
16.
how this is gonna like be, because I know obviously they're not gonna broadcast 24/7. They said there's gonna be live footage and pre-recorded footage, which might be like older concerts and stuff like that, right? At the same time, it's like, are all these groups gonna show up at like? Are they gonna have a stage somewhere and they're gonna do it, or is it gonna be live streamed from different places?
That's my question.
What I
Interesting.
find so interesting is that a lot of the artists here, well, off the top of my head, I know ATEEZ because they had one recently. They've done a lot of like online concerts.
Mhm.
So I was thinking of people that went specifically for one artist, right? They want to see this artist perform. I don't know if them having done something on their own beforehand affects any of this.
I'm sorry.
So
If I was a
basically
big
saying-
enough fan, I would purchase everything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, okay. So for most people, maybe this is something that they would want to see. One thing that I was wondering, looking at it for the member benefits, how would the meet and greet work? I'm
I
wondering.
think you're gonna get like a Zoom chat to like join this room and there's be less people and it'll be like someone might be fielding questions or something. That's what I would
Ah.
guess.
Do you
Okay.
reckon that there will be like a big screen that like broadcasts all the fans' faces to the
I
idols.
mean, yeah, if Rocket Punch, if there's a fourth announcement or Rocket Punch is on there, you're like, I mean, I'm gonna make a joke here. You might be one of 4 people in that live stream.
Bro, our fandom.
I'm sorry.
We have a very strong fandom.
All right, but,
I have no.
But like, imagine if there wasn't that many. Like your big face is like a fourth of the screen.
I mean, you have more chances to talk
So
to them
funny.
directly.
If the group is 6 people and the fans are 4 people,
I mean, obviously, it wouldn't be that much. But what if there's like not that many people? Let's say there's like under 100 people, and like,
I mean, I want success for those members. I feel bad.
so another thing, obviously, about the lineups is like, YG and SM's relationship with Mnet is clearly not that great because none of their groups are still participating in anything Mnet because they have this beef that you can look up online. But other than that, it's pretty well represented across the board, right?
Yeah, if you're a general K-pop fan with a lot of stands, this might be worth it's $20.
I think it'd be pretty worth. I don't know if like they said something about like monthly membership. I don't know if that'd be worth, but just like buying it this month might be worth it to you.
But yeah, K-Con doesn't happen monthly. Why would you sign up for a monthly membership? I'm confused.
Exactly. All right. Third story. So Pledis CEO Han and fraudulent royalties. So I know we talked about Pledis last week and how Big Hit became their largest shareholder, but on May 26th, Dispatch, which we also talked about, released an exclusive report claiming that Pledis CEO Han Sung-soo has been credited as a lyricist for 8 of IZ*ONE songs under the name Sojay. The report stated that the identity of Sojay is the wife of Pledis CEO Han. Her work experience consists of being a visual director, and she has no experience in music and thus has been unfairly profiting from the royalties. So Sojay did not actually participate in the creation of IZ*ONE songs and has no right to claim any ownership over all 8 of them. So that's crazy in itself, right? Like that was the report. Pretty much they're saying that so this Sojay woman is actually the Pledis CEO's wife and she doesn't actually make music, so what's going on? And it's important to know that Han was the general producer for IZ*ONE until he stepped down from his position in March 2020 after the release of Fiesta. An insider stated, though, Han receives income from producing, so he's probably being cautious of CJ. If he has nothing to hide, there's no reason to use his wife's name. So someone threw him under the bus, right?
Yeah.
And Dispatch seemed to claim that there may be like tax consequences as to why he's putting her name onto stuff. So Pledis then responded to the Dispatch report and stated that it was in fact CEO Han who participated in the writing of the songs, and he personally made the decision to use his wife's name and not his own, which is kind of shady.
Wait, they didn't say why though?
Not really.
Oh,
So
that's weird.
Han then came out with a personal apology stating, I personally participated in the music creation process. Despite this, it was still thoughtless of me to receive royalties under my wife's name. All I wanted was to be compensated for my work, and I wanted to be recognized for my participation. I did not think it through, and I was greedy and did not uphold the dignity that a producer should have. I apologize. Jeez.
Wow.
Talk about dignity. This is just crime. That's what it is. Oh my goodness.
Okay, we don't know the motives specifically as to why he did this, but I would guess it's something to do with the tax situation, right?
Right. That would make sense. If I'm getting this much money, I have to pay this amount of taxes. But if I make more money, I have to pay more taxes. But if I'm not making that money and my wife is, and
Then it
technically she's making
lowers
the
my
money.
income, right?
Yeah. Look,
This is kind of sad, right? I mean, not sad, like weird. This whole scenario.
stupid. That's what it is. Just
I also want to know, it's like the investigative reporters at Dispatch, although sometimes they may do shady things, as many of you feel. I wonder how they figured this out. Like, and obviously the releasing of this report is quite ironic, right? Like,
Yeah.
because they've had since March 2020 to release this news, right? We don't know when they figured it out, but like, it just feels like the release of this and the timing of Pledis being bought seems kind of shady, right?
I mean, here's the thing, right? Here's what I don't get about what they said, because he in his final message, in his final statement, he said he just wanted to be recognized for his work, for his art. But then why would you put your wife's name?
Yeah,
it's gonna be.
You know what wants to be recognized? His wallet wants to be recognized.
Oh.
He wanted to pay.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I know it's a thing in the creative industry, and not a good way. There has been multiple instances, where people like MC Mong, for example, doesn't have their name on the credits. Someone else does, and then turns out that person was the actual person behind the song. You're just lying. Stop lying. Why would come on?
I mean, at the end, like, he's the CEO of that company. He probably makes millions of dollars a year anyway. Like,
right.
He can afford to pay the taxes if it was all under his name, if he actually did the work. It's pure greed at the end of the day.
Yeah, like, come on. We all went to first grade. We all have been taught don't lie. We all have been taught, don't be greedy. We all have been taught pay your taxes. Like.
I don't know about the American school system. I didn't learn personal finance over there.
We didn't either. But I was.
All right, but those were the 3 news stories. Let's talk about quick takes, right? First one, YG released a statement regarding Blackpink solo releases. In the statement that was released yesterday, they stated that the solos will be multiple songs rather than singles. So, like, mini albums or something, right?
Oh.
In the announcement, they stated Rose's solo will be released in September after the group's album. Lisa's solo is already prepared for release and will come after Rose's, and Jisoo's solo is still being worked on. People cross-reference this announcement with what they said in the past. Rose's solo has been being worked on since, like, they debuted.
Oh my goodness.
Like, why you always lying? Is what I'd like to say.
I feel like we've been giving updates about Blackpink comeback status for like a good month every week now.
We have, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look, just drop a song. I don't care when. Drop it.
It's one of these situations. Is like everyone's been waiting so long that they'd receive less flack if they just didn't say anything.
I know, that's the thing.
Like, I don't get it. And like, also their statements come off a little bit victim-y. It's like, it's tough times right now, yada yada yada. Everyone's just like, we get it, right? Like, but they just keep releasing these statements that get the fans even more pissed, which I don't understand. Like, do they have no one there who's reading them and being like, this might not be a good look if we
maybe they don't have a PR team. That's what it is.
My goodness.
They don't have a PR team.
It's just a little mind-boggling because everyone's just like, where's the release? Like, could you have given us a date for the pre-release instead? Like, that's what everyone was wondering. But there was rumors that the pre-release is coming on the 12th, but it was not confirmed anywhere, so that's why we didn't really specifically include it. But I will not believe it until I'm watching the music video or listening to the song.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if it come to me and say, so one of the upcoming Blackpink things have been pushed back and delayed, and now it's happening in July instead of June. If that happens, I wouldn't be surprised. Just putting that out there.
Also, the song with Lady Gaga, Sour Candy, came out.
Yes.
It's pretty interesting. It's a bit of a jam.
Yeah.
So go check that one out. But next, the Korean Exchange, which is the Korean Stock Exchange, revealed Big Hit Entertainment has applied for preliminary screening to be listed on the stock market.
Ooh.
Big Hit's market capitalization is expected to be valued at around 2.17 trillion won, which is around 1.75 billion USD. And I have been seeing that number is conservative. People have been saying it's going to be even more than that.
Oh, man.
That's ridiculous.
Y'all gonna buy stocks?
I mean, it's hard to buy Korean stocks, but like, we got to figure out a way so I could say I own a part of the company. Next, we have 2 other BTS news. The first one, the 2020 edition of BTS Festa, which is an annual celebration of the group's anniversary, started today on June 1st and will continue through the 13th. Fans can expect new content, including choreo videos, new profile images, a family portrait, and perhaps even new music videos. The festival will be followed by Bang Bang Con, the live, which will be held on the 14th, which I'm assuming is a live streaming concert.
What's a family portrait?
I don't know, but I'm assuming it's a big hit picture of everyone.
Okay, sorry, keep going.
I wonder who else is going to be included in it now, considering the acquisitions. But
TXT.
Maybe, well, of course TXT. I'm talking about like, come on, fam. They're gonna be like, no, get out of this picture. We don't like you. But lastly, Big Hit Entertainment also announced a global audition ahead of a boy group debut in 2022, like in-house
yeah.
Big Hit group. They aim to discover talented individuals born in or after 20. Well, man, I can't even say like 2003, yo.
Yep.
2003.
2003, 2003. You're like a fetus still.
Oh man.
Oh.
Don't we have a couple people on the server that are that age?
Yeah, I call them children because they're like 16. But I guess I'm just old too. No.
Oh
That's
yeah,
kinda
that's a
sad.
horse.
Next, B2B's Ilhoon enlisted in the military on May 28th. A lot of people have been enlisting, but he is the final B2B member to enlist as Pinyel holds an American passport, and recently Eungwan was discharged in April. But all of B2B has now enlisted.
Oh man,
Wow.
crazy.
Finally, An PD and Kim CP have been sentenced to prison for their roles in the Produce 101 vote manipulation scandal. An was sentenced to 2 years, Kim to 1 year and 8 months, and an additional PD named Lee and 5 entertainment agency officials were fined. It was also reported that CJ is in talks to reach financial settlements with some of the agencies affected by the Produce 101 vote manipulation scandal. And they said that the financial settlements will be like massive.
Wow.
So-
I didn't expect 2-year sentence, but wow, that's kind of crazy.
And I know the Korean penal system, we kind of view it as lenient relative to the US system, but 2 years is pretty significant, right?
Yeah, I honestly thought what's gonna happen is what happens every time, and then they're just gonna get fined, and that's gonna be it. But I guess I'm pleasantly surprised that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so it means to the general public that they've been confirmed as guilty, so it 100% happened, right? And they're receiving significant. I know, like for Americans, like 2 years seems like he didn't like that's it, right? But just know that in the Korean system, that's a pretty hefty sentence for what he did. Lastly, we're at comebacks and releases. Warren, hit us with them.
Comebacks and releases. June 2nd on Tuesday we have Victon. June 5th on Friday we have Treasures Bangyedam with a solo debut. June 8th on Monday we have AB6, Haseung-un, and Super Junior KRY. And other confirmed comeback news we
Look
have.
at this list. Look at this list.
Dude, oh my god, how did you do it earlier? You gotta do it now, Jesus. Okay. All right. Confirmed comeback news. Wavy on June 9th, and Flying on June 10th, Daya on June 10th. Just a heads up, Cheon and Somi will not be a part of the comeback. Former Priston member Kylo with a solo debut on June 12th. Brown Eyed Girls, Taeya coming back on June 12th. Peg Ion coming back on June 16th. Stray Kids, June 17th. And Flying, June 17th. Nature, June 17th. Wakimeki, June 18th. 17 coming back on June 22nd. CIX coming back on June 30th. Hwasa in late June. Golden Child in late June. And Irene Fulgi Unit originally in June 15, but delayed till July.
Wow.
June 17th, what happened there, right? Like 16, 17, 18 is going to be crazy. I think the Daya thing, number one, I'm happy they got to come back. That was the first thing I saw, right?
I'm glad they're back, yeah.
But then they released teaser image and there was only 5 kids and not including Cheon, which we all call the hard carry. That's weird.
I wonder why. We don't know why they're not
We don't
participating.
know why.
Right?
They just said they're not participating.
That's interesting.
And then Priston, former Priston member, wait, I'm going to say her name incorrectly again. Kyla.
Kyla,
there you go.
Yeah. I don't know what language that's going to be in. I just wanted to point that out there. We don't know if it's going to be English or Korean. I'm not sure. But they released album cover work for it today as well.
Oh, really?
So go
I'm
check that out.
interested. I'm interested.
All right, State of the Nation.
What's up, y'all?
Youth with You.
Oh,
Had the
yeah.
finale. I'm not going to spoil anything. But someone in my family won the fantasy league we had for the finale.
Really?
Ooh.
Ooh.
So shout out to my sister because she won it.
Oh.
Congrats.
It was. I still haven't. Okay, let's put it this way. I haven't watched it yet. Like, let me
Wait, what?
let me put it this way.
You had the whole weekend.
I watched the results, but there was
Oh.
no English subs, and I don't understand Mandarin.
Oh.
And it's 4 hours long.
你不说中文.
Yeah, whatever you said.
Oh.
Yeah. But so I'm gonna be watching it later this week. So the subtitles I think have started to come out, but I know the results. I'm pretty happy with them. It kind of makes sense to me. Anita, Road to Kingdom. Have you seen the latest episode?
I did. I have a lot of feelings, but I don't know.
In a good way or a bad way?
I'm just a little confused, shocked. I don't know what the right word is.
Let's have a spoiler warning, right? Let's
Yes,
talk about
spoiler
it.
warning.
Spoiler warning. If you have not watched Road to Kingdom, we'll see you. Well, if you have not watched it and you're watching it, we'll see you next week. Bye. Road to Kingdom. Golden Child
I am so shocked.
didn't make it to the next round.
Honestly, I did not see it. I feel like they also did not see it coming.
No, they were
I do
shocked.
not know what happened.
Wait, they got eliminated?
They got eliminated
Yeah.
straight up. I honestly thought that it was going to be either One Us or Very Very getting eliminated.
Same. I thought it was gonna come down to them.
Or
they
and
got
maybe
that?
TOO, but I just couldn't see TOO getting eliminated on the Mnet show in the first round. But-
Right.
Yeah, they just got like straight eliminated. I was like, and I liked both of their performances, which was
Same.
I was
Same.
shocked.
Were they bad?
No, they were
No.
good. They're okay. I'm not gonna name names, but they were better than some other groups in my opinion.
Honestly, when I watched the performance before finishing the episode, I don't know. I just felt like they were gonna stay pretty stable, right? And
I thought they
think
were safe.
most-
I thought they were safe.
Yeah, they were in the mid ranks for the
Yeah.
first round. So I don't know. Honestly, I'm just confused. And I feel like when you watch the episode and you see the naming off of the groups, and it gets down to the last three, they're like, really? Like, really? Oh my goodness.
It was like you could tell like the expression. They felt like they were in like a nightmare. They're like, can I just wake
Yeah.
up now? Because like, also when you looked at the scores they got, their round 2 score was so low. Like I know the score system's convoluted and doesn't make sense, but like it was so low. I was like, really? You just got like straight.
Yeah.
Martin's like sad now because he's
Aw.
a Woolim person.
I'm putting on my tinfoil hat. This is a conspiracy theory.
Oh.
Mnet clearly has beef with Woolim, you know? And they did do a great treatment of lovelies and queendom. And now they're putting that off straight onto my boy's golden child. Next thing you know...
I thought that they did well too, that's why I was most shocked. Because
I think that's why it seemed a little, I guess personally for me, I seemed a little off. And I was like, when they were naming the groups in the rankings, I honestly feel like, okay, Golden Child, I feel like they're gonna be in the middle again.
I thought they were
But
going to be
then
like
as
third,
they
fourth, or
kept going-
fifth. Like
Yeah,
fourth or
yeah.
fifth, I thought was exactly where they should be. And I was like,
Yeah, and
really?
I'm talking from like a standpoint where I really root for Very Very. I think they have a lot of potential, but when I compare Very Very and Golden Child's stage, I didn't really feel like Very Very was like that substantially better, to be honest.
Yeah, I
I
thought
feel like they were pretty on par, at least.
based on like the placing from round 1 plus the performances, I thought it was way more like I thought Very Very had a way higher probability of getting eliminated than Golden Child. Same thing with One Us because they got 7th place in round 1, right?
Yeah.
That's why I was like, good luck, right? That's honestly like because they did 7th place and then they performed lit. Even though I really liked the way they did it this time, I was like, is it enough to overcome getting 7th? I just wasn't sure about that. Yeah, Warren's kind of like depressed now.
Fine.
Yeah, it was
Honestly-
brutal too. They started crying and I felt bad.
Wouldn't you cry?
I'd cry because it's
Yeah.
you're like getting eliminated amongst groups that you're competing against, like in the actual K-pop sphere.
Dude, it's absolutely humiliating.
It is. It honestly is.
Yeah, like to be fair, when I watched Queendom, I can't say for Kingdom because I didn't watch any of it. But when I was watching Queendom, I was like, nobody's gonna get. They know that that's gonna be a huge hit to their career. Like I was like, nobody they wouldn't ever do that. Sure, they might get warnings here. Like everyone might get one warning, but like nobody's. And they did that here. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a massive hit to their career. It is like it's their image. Like
It's embarrassing from their like.
yeah,
I feel like it had me, like Warren mentioned, it had me thinking about the previous season with the girl groups, Queendom, and how while it was a competition, there was still like this feeling of like everybody kind of working together because the fear of of being eliminated was not as real, or they didn't make it feel as real because it was
Yeah.
mostly based on like what was it?
You
It
had
was,
to get like last twice in a row
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
eliminated.
I don't know. I'm really.
Did that rule
I'm kind
change?
of sad. I wish. Yeah, it changed. They made it
Oh.
where people were
So-
going to be eliminated, for sure.
Yeah, there's like rounds, and then they combined the scores for round 1 and 2, and they eliminated someone. And then after round 3, which is also like 2 performances, they're gonna eliminate someone else.
So there's
So the
no
only-
safety net. People have to get eliminated.
They have to be eliminated. So there's only gonna be 5 teams making it to the finale.
I-
Oh,
I-
on
I
a
don't-
happier side of things, the boys are just dominating, like dominating. They've gotten first place in all 3 performances so far. They are legit, and
that's crazy.
I have not, don't quote me on this. I saw rumors about the lineup for Regular Kingdom.
Really?
Oh.
It is nuts. Like
How nuts? How
someone
nuts?
said, NCT 127 is in discussions.
What?
Exactly.
No way.
Yo.
I'm not confirming this,
What?
but I saw groups like AT's, Monsta X, 17 in discussion to be on Regular Kingdom.
Yo, I was
Dude.
literally, I was talking about it with my sister, and I was like, I don't know. This is just like the preliminary show. The real thing hasn't started yet. And we were like, I don't think SM's gonna send anyone.
Yeah,
I
thought
don't think Monsta X.
Here's what you gotta think. If this is Road to Kingdom, the groups on Kingdom have to be significantly bigger.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's not that many other bigger groups.
But like Mnet doesn't have a great relationship with I thought SM and YG. We just said that earlier.
So I'm just holding my breath on NCT ones. I honestly don't think they'll eventually be on it. But like, the fact that people are naming those level of groups,
AT's
like, could you
Monsta
imagine
X.
if 17 shows up and they're the
17?
second best-selling
Oh my
like group right now? That'd be nuts.
Crazy.
Or maybe they're gonna go the completely different route, and have Jax Kiss, have Super Junior, have a TVXQ, fan club, and like.
Yeah, but like, I'm really excited to see what regular. Like, I know this is just a taste, and I'm enjoying Road to Kingdom. To be like, I think it's a good show. I honestly having a good time.
Performances.
I
Yeah.
don't really watch the fluff. I watch the performances. I'll be straight up. But the one group On and Off, I really like On and Off. I don't know if like I'm not the biggest fan of their music, but the kids seem really funny.
They're so funny.
They're like the funniest kids, and they're kind of they have the weirdest expressions the entire time, and they're like they're like kind of trolly too. And they're from WM, and I think Oh My Girl also has really great personalities. They're so similar, the two groups. But
Man.
Road to Kingdom's a little bit stressful when I watch it,
Yeah.
because I want everyone to do so well. Right now, the current round is they're doing collaborations between 2 of the groups together.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it was like TOO performed with Very Very.
Yes.
They did
I saw
a
that.
ATS, right?
Yep,
Yep.
I think we're getting Pentagon
On and off.
and On and Off,
Yep.
and then we're getting The Boys and One Us. It's the 3
Yes.
groups that are competing together, which should be cool. And one group did BTS is On.
Yep.
Right.
So that was pretty awesome. Anita or Warren, what else you got to talk about?
I don't have that much more to talk about, really.
Good Girl. I watched some of it.
Oh, did you?
Ooh.
Also, it's a pretty fun show so far.
Youngji, really good. Sleek, really funny. And my sister was shocked at how pretty CLC's Yeon was. And I was like, of course, she's CLC Yeon.
I think she might be my favorite member in CLC now.
Ooh.
She's just like so like, like you get like head patting temptations. Like I want to pat.
Are
her
you
head.
tempted, Warren? You tempted?
I want to pat her head, just like it's. There you go. Like,
I know the word duality is thrown around a lot in K-pop, but like she's very different off stage than on stage. Completely different.
Yes, but I also think it somehow weirdly matches everything really well. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think she's like doing a complete 180. If anything, I think they complement each other really well. I know that Queen Wasabi has been going through a lot of controversies. And I'm
Okay.
sure you can look it up if you want.
The first round, I watched it with my family. It was
Why
uncomfortable.
would you watch it with your family? I told you not to.
It was so it was uncomfortable. It's like that moment when you're watching a movie with your family and then there's a sex scene. It was like that.
Oh
It
no.
was so awkward. She was talking about her body parts at one point, and I was like, "Stop! What are you doing?" And then she was talking about other people's body parts, and I was like,
안녕 자기. Let me shake that.
"Yeah." It was awkward.
I mean, I don't know. I thought she was just funny and just an interesting character. There's a lot of controversies coming out. She went out saying the N-word randomly, and then there was like, there's a diss battle. There's beef going on between her, and this other female rapper called Kerrigan May. Not really an interesting beef so far, except that it turns out Queen Wasabi might just be a poo-poo person in general. Look it up if you're interested.
Do you think it's at the level where she would have to leave the show, or not really?
I don't think so. It hasn't blown up to like a general public level, but it's blown up in the hip hop community where people are like, okay.
It hasn't blown up to like that one kid from Show Me the Money, D-Arc or something. Like,
oh no, it's not that level yet.
Not that level yet.
I mean, Show Me the Money is Show Me the Money. Good Girl's nowhere near the issue of Show Me the Money. That being said, I forgot what I was gonna say. That being said, but next week seems like it's gonna be interesting. We have a lot of like, Just Music and Meet Up Plug members.
Are they versing them straight up?
Yeah, they're versing straight up.
Isn't that a conflict of interest for Yunhui?
Yeah, so Yunhui has to fight her own team technically. It's kind of funny.
It's awkward.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's it's all for good spirit, really. And I think it's gonna be really interesting to see people battle like Hyoyeon and like Swings, right? Like, who's gonna be?
This sounds so wrong, dude.
It's such a weird combination. We have Girl Generation, a girl group legend, versing one of the greatest game changers and OGs of Korean hip hop, and they're battling it out. I never thought I'd want to see it, but I guess I kind of do. I'm not gonna lie.
Morbid curiosity, right?
Yeah, it's like, it's gonna happen. Might as well enjoy it,
They can just drip sauce teriyaki, mom's
Oh.
teriyaki.
My mama's teriyaki.
The thing is, once this Corona thing, I want to go to Seattle and try her mom's teriyaki. I want to know, like, we should make a video. Is it as good as she says? That's all Yunhui talks about. We should book a flight to Seattle. Find out which store her mom owns and eat the teriyaki and make a review and then go home.
I bet it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never made teriyaki I don't like. All right, so it has to be decent.
It's difficult to make bad teriyaki, like.
But I'm just curious because like I don't think anyone's teriyaki has ever been mentioned that much in the history of teriyaki.
Oh, one song I wanted to mention is a song called "Fade Away."
Okay.
It's technically a commercial for Jordans.
I heard of. I watched this.
It's very, for the lack of a better word, it's very lit.
It's amazing. Check this. What is it called? Fade Away.
Fade Away.
Okay.
Last year there was another Jordan commercial song called Fearless Ones, and this one is more like there's a proper chorus and everything. Jackie Wise, doing her little thing.
She was my favorite part of the whole thing.
She's really. I don't know. It's one of the better like random posse tracks of for a long time. It's great. It's lots of fun. There's Paolo Otto, there's Quiet, there's Kugi, there's Jackie Y. Pesagong has a random 4-bar thing at the end while he's riding a horse and he's doing a like.
Bro, that Jackie Y like first thing was so good. I was like, oh, I see. Like, I remember I was a little bit into Jackie Y for a while, and then I'm not really into rap at all. So I was like, that got me back on the Jackie Y hype train. And then the Quiet was looking chillin'. He was straight chillin'.
The Quiet, I say this all the time, but the Quiet is the best looking man in all of K hip hop.
I agree. That's an attractive dude.
Yeah, he's an attractive guy.
That's a good looking dude.
He's great. He's a wonderful man.
There's no one who because he's a very calculated, slow speaking type of guy. That just comes off so cool to me. Maybe not the voice though.
I'm throwing the budgie, yo, Eleanor.
But he just be straight. He comes off straight chilling. He's like, I know I'm cool.
Yeah. And then there's Paolo Alto with a very oomph in his voice, and then they kind of
Do they call him like an ajashi? He kind of looks like an ajashi.
They're ajashis. They're 1984s, so like that's what they're 37 years old, or 36. Yeah, they're 36.
If you are 36 or older on this podcast, just know that you are forever young and you are beautiful. Because I don't want to piss anyone off who's older. just throw that out there.
I mean, I think I'm an ajashi, so just.
What?
I feel so old these days.
Yeah.
Like, not gonna lie, sometimes on the Discord, like they make some kind of joke, and I'm like, haha. Even though you don't know what's going on.
That's the weirdest fake laughter. Haha.
Yeah. Anita, do you have anything else notable to say?
Not much. Just feeling confused about Road to Kingdom, and I've been listening a lot to SHINee recently.
Hey.
I listened to Dangerous, which is off of their Misconceptions of You album, but it's a B-side, so check it out if you have time. And I think last night I was watching a lot of CIX for some reason.
Ooh,
and I was like, I'm excited for their comeback now. I feel like they're very good. I'm excited for more of their stuff.
No, like I honestly sometimes go back and watch the Bae-jin Young audition to where he is now. It is one of the biggest growths I've ever seen in someone.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy that this group has had pretty good success despite a lot of stuff that has gone on like previously to the formation of the group.
Yeah.
Like the YG trainees and Bae-jin Young 101. So I feel like they're in a good spot. I'm happy.
Oh, you cut off a little, but I assume you're finished with your sentence.
You're happy.
Yes. I'm good.
Okay. In terms of SHINee, I want to pivot to one more thing before we close. The guy group tier list survey. I've done some preliminary numbers, right? Obviously, it's not the whole thing, and they're subject to change if more people fill it out. Obviously, it's very like the guy group survey versus the girl group survey is a whole nother monster because of how much longevity the older groups have.
Mm-hmm.
In the girl group tier list survey, outside of like A-Pink, everyone is like twice his age and younger, right? Like the guy group tier list, we have people from like a 14-year, 10-year span of time, right?
Yep.
It just makes things weird. And then we have Big Bang, who's like hasn't done anything in a while. Like it's just very confusing. And I saw some of the results. I agreed with the majority of it, but at the end of the day, it's hard to weigh like older groups if you've only gotten into K-pop recently, or you might be the other side who listens to older stuff and it's not really into the newer stuff, right? It's like a mixed bag, but hopefully it all averages out and we get some cool results to talk about.
I'm sure we'll have a fun discussion at the end.
Yep.
Like, talk
But
about.
again, we're gonna have to make it abundantly clear that we didn't make it because like I saw some of it was spicy and I was like, oh god. Oh god.
We'll see what happens.
That's a preview though. That's a preview, but it'll be open probably till Sunday, or at least before we record the next episode, and then sometime next week maybe we'll record it and release the video.
Go vote. If you don't like boy groups, still go vote.
Yeah, even if you don't know everything, just like put down what you want because at the end of the day, it's the average of everyone's opinion, so everyone's there to help you out. But this has been SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop, episode 89. It's nuts that we're even at that point. 11 episodes till 100. Crazy.
100.
I'm Doug. I'd like to thank Warren and Anita for joining me today. Yang Pong released the cover video today of that, so check that out.
Yeah.
But we'll see you guys next time when we get to episode 90. Bye, everyone. Rocket punch,
Bye-bye.
rocket punch, rocket punch.
Special shoutouts to our Fiesta patrons: Gogu Mama, Jack, Jacob, Malfiar, NJ Parks, Snap Wilson, Tier, and Wolf297. Thank you for joining SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. And special thanks to our Discord server mods: Jacob, K Music Erday, Malfiar, No Bias Nuna, Tuggles, V, and Wolf297.